kid.
Yeah.
A 1?
Yeah, son, she don't have no body on her. What are you talking about?
Has he gone blind?
Your cheeks do not protrude past your shoulder blades. That's a negative 3 points.
What is this? What is this? Hip hop Atlanta? Like, what? Come on, what are we doing here? Do we all have to have butt surgery now?
Have you ever had this discussion with your friends about where to rate a girl at? In this video, we're gonna go over the definitive scale that everybody should use. Let's go. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Germain. I've got my co-host for today, Brad.
Nice to meet you guys.
For this video, you can call us the Scale Guys. So we're gonna talk about the rating scale that we have come up with, Brad and myself have come up with to give a numeric value to a female. Everybody talks about it, like we've had this conversation. So let me give a little backstory on what happened, right? So, Bradley and myself.
At Chipotle, by the way.
We went to Chipotle, right? So we go to Chipotle, Bradley walks up to this counter, there's a girl there at the counter that Bradley knows, right? So Brad...
knows is like an elusive, like, we went to school together.
Okay, so right, so a schoolmate, right? So Brad is at the counter talking to this female, and we leave, we come back to the house, and Brad is like, yo, this chick, she's like a 7, she's like an 8, man. And we're looking at him like, yo, hey, pump the brakes. She might be a 6 at best, right? So
it's definitely an 8.
See? So this started the conversation. So we were like, look, we've got to come to an agreement. Like, we've got to set a baseline for this scale, but then we've also got to take into account personal preferences, and you got to be able to tailor it to yourself, right? Like, so it's got to work for you as an individual. It's got to be personalized, right? You got to be able to
it reflects your taste and how you like how it's different from everyone else's.
Yes. All right. As you can see, we've got 4 categories broken down, and we're going to explain how this scale works. First and foremost, right? If the Lord and Savior,
Jesus Christ himself,
blessed you as a natural born female, you automatically get 1 point. Pretty simple.
That's the give me of the the scale.
That's the give.
Everyone gets 1.
Everyone gets 1. Hopefully, every time we've given someone a 1, it's been an accurate scale.
Hopefully, but you never know these days.
All right. So the next category that we'd like to go to, and you'll see why we moved to in this order, right? So we like to go to the face, right? So on the face, we have broken it down to a 2-point numeric value, which means
3 possible answers. So it's basically you can get a 0, which means it's not really. It's a negative thing. You can get a 1, which is pretty good, but there might be a slight character flaw, like nose overextended too much, or like ears bigger, or like eyes too far apart. Like just a slight thing that makes them special or them. And then you got a 2, where that's basically just like, oh my God, this is the base perfectly symmetrical, just long, beautiful hair, like eyes, gorgeous. Full lips, and
beautiful smile, full lips, perfect nose.
Skin is on like just perfect, and so that's really where the 2 comes from.
So that's your scale, right? So if you're a natural born female and you are absolutely beautiful, at this point you're sitting at a 3.
Yeah, so this is like at the most point of this scale, you're at a 3 at the highest you can go.
We're gonna move over to body. So body, again, very subjective. Right? It all depends on your personal preferences. But for body, we broke it down in 3. It is a 3-point scale, so 4 possible answers. So you can either have a 1, you can have a 0, you can have a 1, a 2, or a 3.
And this is the second biggest category out of all 4 categories.
And again, because it is so subjective, also there are so many different body types, right? It's kind of hard to really just break it down to 4 possible choices, but you'll see why in a minute.
It works and makes sense.
It works and makes sense. So, you've got 1 point, okay? Possible 2-point max for face, possible 3-point max for body. So hopefully all of you have done your math at this point and realize that this is 6 points.
And so at this point, without personality, you can only go as high as a 6.
Correct.
Okay, so the first possible choice for personality is a 0. Now this is basically your terrible human being, major character flaws
Right.
in every way possible, just ridiculous,
Super rude.
short, aggressive, belittling. We all know we all have those people in our lives. So
Yep.
it's like, so it's 0. Then you have a 1 where it might be a little, they're still rude and short, but it's a little less aggressive and
Right.
a little bit less forceful.
You can spend an afternoon with them.
After a day or two, they get to be enough of a personality.
Right.
So then we have a 2, which is like they're nice. They could potentially be nice, but there's like a cut, like just 1 or 2 things about their personality
Yes.
that might rub you the wrong way, and just like just that thing that you don't agree with, or how they think, or something along that nature, or they can't take your sense of humor that you do.
Yep.
And then there's a 3, which this is where you get into there's a character flaw or like something, but you can learn to deal with it, or it's like it's acceptable because most of the time not all of us are lucky enough to have that perfect someone in our soulmate in our life. So it's
Right. Right. There's some things you don't. They're absolutely not the perfect person, but they are pretty darn close.
So you give if you were using this scale and you gave them a 3, that automatically communicates to who you're speaking with. Like, dang, she's pretty dope. We have a lot of common interests. There's
Yes.
only a few things that I hate, but I can learn to live with just
Yes.
because this is just in case we go into a relationship
Right.
that could work out. And then we have the rare 4, which
The rare 4, although they're out there, but very rare.
very super hard. This is like soulmate. Oh my God.
Yes.
We click on everything. Perfect. Same music, same food, same personality. It's just super rare, and most people aren't even lucky enough to find that. To be
Okay.
honest.
So let's talk about this for a minute. We've given personality the most weight, and we felt as though, and we went through a couple variations of the scale before we got to this version of the scale. And
It was a long process.
it was a very long process. And we decided that personality had to be weighted more than the others because
It's just the most important, to be
a
honest.
person's character really drives a lot about them. And again, so let's kind of run through some generic scenarios which we kind of based off when we figured out this scale, right? So let's take, right, you see a girl, she gets 1 point. Usually when we run the scale, right?
We just one off the top.
Right, you just go, all right,
Oh,
let me get
she-
1. She gets a 1. All right. Let's say supermodel, beautiful. She is everything you want to see in
Slamming.
the face, right?
She gets 2.
She gets automatic 2 points,
that's
right?
3 points right
She's
now.
at a 3, right? Now, boom, body, just off the chain, just everything you want it to be, from the top to the bottom. Skin is perfect, just everything. That's 3 more points. Where's she sitting at, Troy?
That's a 6.
She's at a 6.
Pretty good so far, right? You're
Right.
thinking, yeah, this makes sense. But here's the genius of the scale right here.
Here we go.
Let's use an example for a friend. We had a friend in a restaurant, and we saw a cute girl. She was pretty good. Walked past her, and first thing that came out of her mouth was, "Can you please delete that picture of me?"
The whole entire group was like,
What are you talking about?
what are you talking about? What picture?
Hands full of food that we had just purchased.
Yes.
Then one of our friends, he put down his food to ask her what she was talking about, and she refused to answer him, wouldn't look him in the face.
Yes.
So by her thinking that she was so beautiful and so top of the line,
Right.
that somebody, a complete stranger, I have you know,
Yes.
felt it that she had to tell him, "Don't take a picture of me."
Yes.
Or delete that picture of me. As if she was that beautiful, as if Beyonce was sitting in this restaurant.
I can tell you that it was not Beyonce who was sitting at that restaurant at that time.
Yes.
She was not even close. She was cute.
Yes.
Like Brad said, she was cute.
But she gets a big fat 0.
She gets a big fat 0. So listen, so you can be the finest thing visually top of the line on the scale. But if your personality sucks, if you're a terrible person, the best you can get is a 6.
And
Now,
as we know, a 6 is average.
6 is average, right? But so okay, cool. She's a 6, right?
Yes.
Now let's go. This is my favorite scenario because it kind of tips the scale for people, and it really puts it in perspective, right? So let's say you know a female,
And she gets a 1 off the top.
she gets 1.
Let's say, she's got some cute quirks, so she gets another 1.
She gets a 1, right? She's kind of cute, you know what I mean? Maybe a little dimple or something, you know, right?
And let's say she gets, her body is, she's a little bit of a bigger girl.
This is my favorite part. Let's give her just a straight 0
so let's
for
say
body.
she's straight 0.
Right?
So
Whatever that might be, in your mind, whatever that might be. We have some examples, but we'll go there.
So right now, she has a 1, and a 0.
So she's sitting at 2 points.
2 points.
But let's just say this person is your soulmate. She
Perfect.
is everything you want in a female. She likes everything that you like. You guys get along amazingly. She's your rock. She's your backbone. She gets your jokes. She tells her own jokes. Whatever it might be for you.
She supports you in your goals. She's a shoulder to cry on. She lets you expose your emotions to her.
Right.
Just things of that nature.
Guess what?
So, you get a 4.
So now this same person is also a 6. So you've got supermodel fine, crappy attitude, 6. You've got cute face kind of girl with super major flaws in her body but amazing personality. She's also a 6. So I know some of you, right, are starting to go through the process in your mind, right? You start trying to run the scale with people that you may know. So, right.
By the way, I would also like to make this an important fact that as we go through women, we do not know their personalities. We can only go based off of what we have heard.
Right.
So, and as you see, he made a mark by 2 because a general rule of thumb is when you meet, because we know this scale is usually meant for some people. You're not going to always do it on people you have an intimate relationship with or speak to on a daily basis. So let's say it could be you're at a mall and you just walk past the girl. The highest, as a rule of thumb for this scale, the highest you can go is a 2 for personality, just because off the simple fact of you cannot know what her personality is just based on one occasional meeting. Like you don't know if she's had a bad day, if she's gone through some stuff that day, or she could be having a really good day, so she's in a little bit better mood than usual.
Right.
So that's what's important to know is, let's say you get a 1, a 2, and you get a 1, that's a 3, and she gets, and you're just like, oh, she was real short, she got a 0, but you didn't know her.
Correct.
So like you could have like talked to her and you could have found out she was having a bad day, and as you get to know her, you're like, wait a second, she's really cool. She's at a 2 or a 3. So there's always like these point swings, right? Just because of the simple fact that you could never just absorb someone's personality just with a quickly walking past them or a quick conversation.
Right.
That takes time to develop.
Right. This was one of the reasons why we also felt it important to give personality a little more weighted scale, because we needed a middle of the road rating. So the fact that it was a 4-point scale and basically a 5 answer category, we could get that middle of the road baseline for strangers, people you never met, someone you can just see walking down the street. We've all done this where we're out and about somewhere, we look at our friend, you just get that silent message like, listen, and we're sitting there, we're like, all right, look, soon as that person is now not in earshot of our conversation, hey, boom, she's a 1, right? And then we just run through the scale, right? So we had to give the baseline for the personality for 2. All right.
So it's important to know also that the scale does not work unless you are being honest with yourself,
yes,
and you keep the baseline at a 2. So it's important to know that just because you had a super nice conversation with her one day, she's a 4,
yeah,
you could figure out there's some major character flaws that you don't like. So you have to be honest with yourself. This is up to you too now.
This is based off of someone that you don't know. This is based off of maybe a short encounter, or someone that you don't have a really personal relationship with, or or someone that you don't speak to on a regular basis, or someone you don't interact with all the time. We put it out there. You guys got the scale. You've looked at this board enough. You've heard us talk enough. Jump in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about it. Oh my God, it works. Leave a comment. The scale is amazing. Whatever you want to do, give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know if there's anything else you want us to talk about. For now, I'm Germain.
I'm Bradley.
Scale Guys. The
Scale Guys.
He said Angela Bassett.
I smash Angela Bassett.
No, it's no for me, dog.
Has he seen Margot Robbie?
She has no ass.
Oh my God, it's firm and in shape. I'll tell you.
That's
Before.
automatic.